Alright, let's do another live stream. It's not so cold today. I would say it's maybe -2. Yeah, the weather is not so bad. I'm gonna wait a little bit for some people. See if anyone gets in the stream. Yeah, it's quite early right now. I mean, not too early. Right now it's what time is it? 10:20. My bus comes around 11. And yeah, I just wanted to go a little bit earlier to my bus, so that way I can do a live stream, because I haven't done one in a few days now. And yeah, this is the weather that we got right now. I mean, it's quite hazy, very cloudy right now. Not such good weather. It's a little bit grayish, but this is typical weather here in the winter time. You know, you're not gonna get a lot of sunshine. You're gonna get a lot of clouds. They sent us a text warning. I think it's like the government, whatever institution, does that there is supposed to be freezing rain, or I think hail. Hello there, viewer. What's up? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We are in Krakow, Poland right now. Just so you know where we're at. And yeah, it's gray. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Nice, 8 people. Yeah, it's weird. Always you have to wait a little bit. I mean, that's normal, right? You wait a little bit and then people start to see your stream. But yeah, you can see we still have a lot of snow actually. But now the snow is just frozen. It's basically ice. So if you're not too careful, you are gonna slip and die. It can happen. It can happen to anybody. So you gotta be really, really careful. I slipped already a couple times. But now, yeah, there hasn't been snow for about, I think, 6 days. Is this Roblox? It looks like it, no? Roblox. Isn't that like a video game of some sort? Kind of like Minecraft. Oh, that's cool. They have a vegetable stand here. Let me show you. Yeah, this is nice. We actually live nearby, so that'll be cool to buy some stuff here. They have a lot of these little shacks everywhere. Here's a little shack with food. This is one thing I really like about... Hi, Ula. One thing I like about living in Poland, especially here in Kraków, it's like you can start a business very easily, I think, because I see a lot of different businesses around. Hey, you're the Polishman. Yeah, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Finally back. After about a week of not streaming, I decided to come back because I really enjoy streaming. I think the thing that I like about streaming is that I can go for a walk and I can just talk about or rant about a topic. One sec, let me fix this up. Let me just check if the mic is working. Yeah, the mic is definitely working. Yeah, I am the Polish man though. And how are you guys doing today? Sometimes when I see a streamer stop streaming, I think something bad happens to them. Yeah, they probably slipped on some ice and they end up in the hospital. So that's my guess. You know, because they're just paying attention to the phone, not really paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, it's cool. Again, another nice little thing here. Let me show you little garden things. Obviously now there is nothing there. I'm sure in the summertime they grow stuff, and then there's a composite. But yeah, how is it like to live in Poland in the winter? Well, I mean, it's kind of depressing because you don't get a lot of sunshine. It's mostly cloudy days, and that's typical, you know, like I said, of the weather in Eastern Europe. Yeah, like for example, in the summertime, it's very beautiful. You know, when the weather is nice, and obviously that's any country. Like if the weather is nice, it's gonna be a good experience to live there. Because I think as human beings, we need sunshine to thrive. Otherwise, we just need like to take supplements. Oh wow, snowing in Phoenix. Cool, man, cool. Oh no, you said it never snows in Phoenix. Yeah, that's. I was a little bit confused because I know Phoenix is really hot. But let me get back to the topic. So yeah, living in Poland. How is it like to live in Poland? Yeah, how is it like to live in Poland? So the weather in Poland is, yeah, in the wintertime it's really, really bad actually. I mean, if you were to go and look right now on Google, the first thing check the smog or check the pollution level. And you see Poland is in like the top worst cities in the world, I think, when it comes to pollution levels. And I don't know why. I mean, some people told me that Kraków is kind of like in a valley. So a lot of the pollution just comes here and stays here, hangs out around here and pollutes people. And yeah, there's not a lot of wind movement because obviously it's like inland, and there's also mountains that block the airflow. So yeah, pollution here is just horrible, and you can smell the smog in the wintertime. And like one thing that you smell is the people burning coal and wood to heat their houses. And it's you can smell it when you come here, especially if you go more into the villages. It's very prevalent. Like for example, now I am going to my grandparents' house, which is like an hour away, and they live in a village. And when you go into the village, immediately what you smell is the burning of like coal and wood. You know, it's a very strong smell. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It smells a little bit like acidic maybe. And yeah, you don't want to be around that for too long, because then you're gonna get some health issues after some time. So yeah, Kraków also has a big problem of pollution because there's a lot of villages around, and again, like I said, it's in a valley, so a lot of the pollution stays. Like now we had really, really bad pollution for the past 4 days. And yeah, like for example, 3 days ago, I went out for a run, and I came back after the run, and it was just really difficult to breathe. And yeah, for the past 2 days, I've been coughing a lot. And where does that come from? Again, the pollution, you know. I don't really have this problem so often. Or I don't notice it, you know. until I'm here now. And again, it's because the pollution is just so bad. So yeah, it really gets into your lungs, and then you're gonna start to cough. And also my daughter, she's like 1 year and 2 months, and I can see she started coughing. And typically she doesn't cough. And then my girlfriend, she told me she has like a headache or something, but she feels a little bit sick. And yeah, it's just obvious that it's because of the air quality. You know, for example, when we were living in Spain, we didn't have this issue because we were living right by the sea, and there was always fresh air by the sea. But over here, again, the air kind of gets stuck. There's no wind movement, and then you breathe all this shit into your lungs. So in the winter time, it kind of sucks to be here because, as you see, the weather, it's just shit right now. And also the pollution, you can't really go outside so much. You know, you get the emergency text messages, and they tell you stay inside because the pollution is so bad. So yeah, I wouldn't want to live in Kraków specifically for the winter time. I mean, there are other beautiful places in Poland that probably are not as polluted. But yeah, the winter is brutal, man. The winter is fucking brutal. Like, for example, if you have a child and you want to take them anywhere outside, you can't really do that in the winter because, you know, their hands are gonna get cold, their feet are gonna get cold, their face is gonna get all red. And yeah, you always kind of have to be inside, so you have to find like some play places or maybe some cafes or go to the shopping center. And I think my girlfriend and I don't want that. Like, the thing that we'd prefer is to live in a place where we can actually go outside and where we can, you know, where she can go play in the playground in the winter time, where we can go for walks in the winter time. Even for like a simple walk over here in Kraków, here in the winter time, it's very difficult because you have to dress up really warm. And like, to dress our daughter in all these clothes, it takes a lot of effort because she obviously doesn't like to have so many layers because it limits her movement. And so yeah, it's always a struggle, you know, to put on the big jacket for her, and she just goes like, yeah, and you have to hold her and just put it on. I mean, sometimes she's okay, but most of the time it's quite a struggle to do that. So yeah, we would prefer in the winter time to be in a place. Let's see where I put the other glove on. Yeah, we would prefer to be in a place where it's warm, and so that way we can go outside for walks and we can get some sun. And here you also have some sunny days, but obviously it's not always, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 days out of the week you have sun. I mean, we got lucky the past 2-3 days, I think, because there was a lot of sunshine. And as you see now, you know, it's just cloudy and gray, and it's been like this. I mean, this is the second day now. So yeah, all I'm saying is that in the winter, living here in Krakow, Poland is just very difficult, especially if you have a family. I think if you're coming here like alone, you know, you're single, whatever, you want to enjoy yourself, like, Krakow is a really cool place. And if you're young, you don't really care about your health so much. You know, there's a lot of like bars, hostels, events. It's perfect for you. But if you're here with a family, you're gonna struggle a little bit because, yeah, like I listed all these things: pollution, just shit weather, the cold. And one thing that I didn't mention yet is like the people, the mentality of the people. The Polish people are very friendly, especially to foreigners. Yeah, I mean, if you speak Polish, maybe you'll make people more friendly, because if you're trying to speak their language, you know, they become more friendly. But if you're speaking English, they're going to be very friendly to you. So Polish people are very friendly, very like nice, but there's this kind of collective thing of like this depression, I guess. Like people just look sad. People seem sad. You know, people don't smile much. You know, people are not gonna say like hi. I mean, yes, people say dzień dobry, which is like good morning or good afternoon. But yeah, if you're on the tram and you're with your kid, you know, people are just gonna look away. They're not gonna like interact with your kid. That's my experience so far. Unless it's like an old lady or an old man, then it's a little bit different. I don't know why. Maybe the younger generation of people are a little bit just isolated. But like older people, yeah, they're much more open. And yeah, there's obviously like people who will interact with your kids, but it doesn't really happen so often. You know, like when me and my girlfriend lived in Spain, all the time. I mean, we just went to the grocery store and we had like at least 5 interactions on the way there. You know, some lady stopped and said hello to our kid, or touched her cheek, or said something funny to make her laugh. You know, and that happened all the time in Spain, in the south of Spain specifically. Over here, yeah, we don't really have that experience. People are very like just on their own. And again, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just like the way that they interact here. It's a little bit different from other countries. And yeah, also it's in the winter time. So in the winter time, you know, there's a different mentality. I think in the winter time, it makes you a little bit more reserved, a little bit more closed off. I think in the summertime, it would be a little bit different because, you know, weather also influences mood a lot. And I feel like probably in Poland, people don't really take supplements, or a lot of people maybe forget to take supplements, to forget to take vitamin D, you know, because it's not really, like, I don't know, even I didn't know about vitamin D until like maybe 6-7 years ago, when I started living here. But I think, yeah, people just forget to take their vitamins. And then also people work, man. People have jobs, people have families, people have responsibilities. Plus then you got the cold weather, you got the shit pollution. And yeah, it just adds on. And yeah, another thing. Check the comments real quick. Sorry about just me talking, but I'm trying just to stay on topic and to share my thoughts instead of getting caught up in the comments. And then when I take a pause, I will answer whatever questions. Let's see. Let me see. Polish, yeah. I never experienced cold in my country. Where you at, bro? I'm in Krakow, my friend. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to talking. So the other thing, yeah, I mean, Krakow is not cheap. Let me put on the glove. Yeah, it's cold. Cold. So another thing about living here in Krakow is that it's not cheap. You know, apartments here are quite expensive. Especially if you want to get an apartment in the center. Like, for example, my friend with a couple other friends, they have an apartment in the center of Krakow, and they're paying around 5,000 zloty, which is roughly like 1,300, 1,400 maybe dollars. And this is a lot for a 2-bedroom apartment, especially that we're here in Poland, you know, and things are supposed to be cheaper. So yeah, we are living a little bit away. You know, we live in Nowa Huta, and Nowa Huta is like about 6 kilometers from the center, so it's not too close, but we have a tram right by our house, you know, so we can just get on the tram and then we're in the center in about 25 minutes, and we're paying around 700 for everything, which is quite cheap, and we have a 2-bedroom apartment. But again, to find places at this type of price, you kind of have to look around for a little bit. You know, I got very lucky because the apartment that I rented, there was just the owner's friend living there, and he wasn't really paying rent, so the owner just wanted to rent it out to someone, to take care of it and to pay rent. But normally, if you're not Polish, if you're coming from abroad, you're gonna pay probably above 900 or at least over $800 per month, for everything. So it's not too cheap. In Spain, I mean, the prices are kind of similar. It depends on where you live in Spain. But when we were living in the south of Spain, it was around 800 just for rent and then plus utilities. So it added about 1,000. But if you live in the north of Spain, the rent is much, much cheaper. And one moment, let me just cross the road now. I'll show you. Because I'm trying to get to the bus station. Run. Okay, so right now it's starting to snow a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to snow just a little bit. I gotta make sure that I am going the right way. But I think I'm quite close. I'm not too far away from the train station now. I just gotta follow the trams. The tram is over there. See, that is the blue tram right there. That's kind of the old-fashioned trams. Let me just go through the park. So yeah, I'm just showing you a little bit of the place where I live. It's kind of like these blocks. I mean, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's nothing to like look at and be like, wow. It's all right. It's all right. KFC. Just trying to orient myself a little bit because I'm not sure exactly where I am right now. I think I am going the right way then. cool little shack, no? Okay. So yeah. So that is kind of the part that I live in. I like that these buildings, like some of these buildings have nice color, like green, there's orange, there's yellow. So it's not just all gray. When I was living in Spain, in the south, most of the buildings are kind of like this orange pinkish color, and I think this has to do because like it's this light color, and that's because the sun, I guess, I don't know, it does something to keep the buildings cool, maybe. Maybe somebody knows something about this. But yeah, I'm trying to find the bus station now. I think I'm going the right way. I'm just following the main road, and I gotta go take a Flix bus right now to Rzeszów and meet my brother, and then go to my grandma because her birthday is actually tomorrow. So we just want to buy a couple things and probably just go say hi. Because we normally don't see our grandparents so much. I mean, we're not very close with our like extended family, so like cousins and grandparents and all of that. It's only recently that we've kind of been getting back, and yeah, just yeah, we've been trying to like restore the connection between the family. Another tram. Okay, so now I really have to find my way. I kind of want to check Google Maps just to make sure I'm heading the right direction. I think that is the right thing to do. And thank God I have two phones, so I can definitely do that. Just to make sure I am going in the right direction. Okay, so I am a little bit off track. I went too much west. Gotta go a little bit east actually, and then the train or the bus station should be close by, maybe like a 10-minute walk. And yeah, in Poland is really nice because the transportation system is very good. Sec. Yeah, the transportation system is very good. I mean, you can literally get around anywhere in Poland, and you have many different options. Oh, yeah. You know, like if you want to take a train, it's very inexpensive to do so, very fast. It's not like the fastest trains, but yeah, they're comfortable, they're very inexpensive, and you can get around to any city. Same thing with buses, you know, you have Flixbus and then a bunch of other like national bus companies, and yeah, you have like BlaBlaCar, kind of Bolt, all this stuff, you know, transportation apps, taxi apps. So it's very easy to get around in Poland. Also, you know, here in Kraków and other major cities, like the lifestyle that you can live is very good because Poland just offers so much in terms of like entertainment. You know, so if you want to go to a cafe, man, you're gonna find a lot of cafes. If you want to go to some event, there's always going to be a lot of events going on, especially in a city like Kraków. You know, there's a lot of cultural events, so you'll never be bored. Another thing is like, what else do we have here? Just recreational things, right? Like spas, saunas, all this stuff. You have it. You know, in Spain, when I was living in the south in Malaga, it's very rare to find that. You know, maybe you have like 2 spas in the city center, but they're extremely expensive and they're just for like tourists, you know, so like come, pay, get out. Over here you can go, you can enjoy yourself, which is very nice. What other nice things? Yeah, like food prices are quite cheap. The only thing that's quite expensive in Poland is like coffee prices, tea prices. You know, if you want to go to a cafe and if you want to buy yourself a coffee and a cake, you're gonna pay a lot of money. You know, you're gonna pay like 4 to 5 euros for a coffee, you know, or for a latte, which is not cheap. I mean, yes, there are cafes that are cheaper, but you would have to be kind of a local to know the places. But normally, if you go to a cafe, you're gonna pay around 4 euros for a coffee. In Spain, that's like half the price. So that's kind of one downside. You know, if you have money, 2 euros isn't really much. You know, or like the 4 euros that you spend on the coffee isn't really much. And if you go every day, you know, it's not much if you're making money and if you have a job. But yeah, it can add up, especially if you don't have like a stable income, if you don't have a lot of money, you know, and if you're the person that likes to go out, likes to enjoy yourself, you know, you're gonna have a hard time if you don't have money, because yeah, going out is not so cheap. I mean, if you go to like a restaurant and if you want to eat a nice meal, like typically you're not gonna pay so much. You'll pay probably like 8 euros to 15 euros for a nice meal, which is not too expensive. But now let's compare that to the US, right? Like if you go to Chipotle, or if you go to I don't know, Portillo's, that's what we had in Chicago, or some other like local or chain places that have like decent quality food. You know, over there you'd pay probably $12, $13 for like a nice portion of food. You know, for that money you're gonna get a smaller portion, and the quality of food is gonna be good, obviously, because here they have really high standards when it comes to food. But again, yeah, compared to the US, where you make like almost double the amount of money, or triple, or yeah, depending on what type of job you have, you can make a lot more money than you can in Poland. Like minimum wage here is about 8 euros an hour. In the US, it's about 15, 16 now. So yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense. You know, even in the US, if you go to Starbucks and get yourself like a latte, it's gonna cost you like $5, and it's gonna be the same price here. So that's kind of the downside. Yeah, and it's weird that, you know, it's so expensive to go to a cafe here, unless you know like a cool local place. Some places have lower prices, but again, you have to know where to go. Like a lot of the times I have a couple places. When I lived in the center of Kraków, I would just go for breakfast and I would pay maybe 7 euros for breakfast and a coffee. But again, that's because I've lived here for a while. I kind of know what's around. So yeah, it's for me much easier to spend less money because I know the spots. So now I just gotta figure out how to get to this bus. station. I swear to God, I feel like I'm walking in circles, man. I don't know how I took such a big detour, but thank God that my bus comes a little bit later, so I don't really have to worry about the time so much. I just wanted to get there earlier, so that way I can maybe get a coffee before I hop on the bus, because the journey is about 2 hours. And yeah, in that time I just want to work, do some stuff on my laptop. And right now I am on the main street. I think I'm getting closer now. Over here there's like a really big supermarket that I'm not seeing. I think it's for you. Somewhere over there. But yeah, this is the main road. And I gotta get all the way over there. So it's not too far now. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat real quick. It's all good. No questions right now. And yeah, another thing about Krakow. Like for example, you see right now I'm on the main road. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of cars, but if you go closer to the center, you know, there is a lot of traffic, especially in the morning. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic in the morning. There's a lot of traffic in the night, you know, because in the morning kids are going to school, people are going to work, and in the evening kids are getting out of school, parents are driving them places, people are going out to eat, people are going out to the city center, you know, and it gets quite busy. And the reason why this sucks, especially if you live in the center, is because there's a lot of car pollution. There's a lot of fumes from cars, you know, so if you're walking in the center, you're gonna smell it at certain times of the day. And that's kind of the downside of living in like bigger cities, is that, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people in that way, and because of this you're gonna have a lot of traffic. So that is kind of a con for me. Yeah, that is a con for me. Go this way. Yeah, I'd much prefer living in a smaller, cozier city where there's less people, there's less traffic. And just, yeah, you know, when you go for a walk, you don't smell like car pollution. You know, you don't have to like be around so many people. You have your peace, you have your space. Now over here, it's a little bit hard to get that. I mean, Krakow is cool because, yeah, there's a lot of green spaces and just a lot of space to walk around, which is nice. So it has that nice balance of a lot of people, but still there's a lot of space to walk around. Because, like, for example, if you've ever been to Malta, you know, and I've been to Malta recently, Malta is like kind of like a maze, and it's very difficult to have space to walk around, and especially because there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of people, and there's a limited amount of green spaces. So if you were in Malta, you know, and if you wanted to go for a nice walk, I mean, good luck, brother. It's not gonna happen. You know, over here, you know, you still have some forests, you have some nice lakes to walk around, you have some, yeah, like places where you can go and explore and spend some time walking. So that's nice. And also another cool thing about Krakow, and I know that this is all just kind of disorganized, but there's a lot of playgrounds. There's a lot of playgrounds. So I'll show you here. On here. And this one is kind of the worst one I could show right now, because we're kind of in a weird spot. But in Krakow, there's a lot of playgrounds. A lot of playgrounds. You know, in the wintertime, it sucks because you can't really use them because everything is frozen and cold. You know, so your kid is not gonna want to be on the swing or play on the playground. But in the summertime, really cool, man. Like, you got another one here. This is more for older people, and you can just go play, take your kids to the playground, have a nice picnic. You know, and that's really cool. That's really cool. When I was in Malta, we can't really do that. I mean, we can go to the beach, but again, the beach is packed with people. It's a small beach. And over here, you know, we can just pick a park. Okay, today we're gonna go to this park, and we take some food and we have a nice picnic. Our kid plays in the park. So that's really cool about living here, is that you can do that. And I know that it's not really a special thing, because you can do that in a lot of cities, and a lot of cities have a lot of green spaces. But yeah, there's something about Krakow, like the kind of wildness of it, which appeals to me. You know, if you go to like Germany, Munich, everything is kind of like very organized. The grass is cut perfectly. But in Poland, like, I don't know, they just leave shit alone. They let it overgrow, and it kind of gives it a nice feeling that there is just so much wildness. So, I don't know if I am getting closer. I think I am, hopefully. I should check one more time, just to make sure. Okay, where am I at? Oh my goodness. I don't know how, but I just kept on going the wrong way. God. So I gotta go all the way there. Shit. Okay, maybe I will take my phone with me, just so I can check. Keep on checking, because yeah, I am definitely going the wrong way now. But it's a nice walk. Get some nice freshly polluted air today. I still think the pollution is quite high here. It's like 176 or something. I don't know what that really means, but yeah, I know that if it goes above 100, it is not good for the lungs. Yeah, it is not good for the lungs. And we had something API level or AQI level. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it was above 200, above 250 actually. It was like 280 something, and that's just very, very dangerous, very unhealthy to breathe. You know, so imagine living in Poland, or living in, not Poland, living in Krakow in that type of weather, in that type of air quality, right, in the winter time. I'm sure if you live here for enough years, you would definitely start to have some health issues. Yeah, you definitely have some health issues, and it will affect everything in your body, you know, because your lungs are like extremely important, and if you cannot take in oxygen because your lungs are all messed up, you know, that just like will cause so many health problems for you. So I couldn't really imagine myself living in Krakow like for a long time in the winter time, or like every year in the winter time. You know, and like I said, I've been here in the summer, and it's really cool. I was actually here, this summer, and it was nice, man. The air quality was really good. What else? I was working as a food courier So I had my bike and I was on the bike all the time, and I was just riding around the city, and that was a really nice experience because the sun was out, the weather was good, there was a lot of things to do, and you always wanted to be outside. So in the summertime, it's just like a really nice place to live. Let me show you the snow a little bit again. Yeah, this is actually a nice area. I've never been to this area, but it's just like a really, really big park. Okay, so now I'm definitely going in the right direction. I just gotta get down, and then I should be fine. Yeah, but it's very quiet here. Very nice to walk around. And sort of where we live, we also have a really big park like this. So just to go for walks with our daughter is very nice. But again, it's hard because it's cold, and I don't think she likes the cold so much, because after like half an hour she's like I'm done. She starts to complain, and then eventually turns into whining, and then if you don't go home, she will scream. She will tell you, "Nah, Dada, I want to go home. I don't want to stay out here." But this is another nice playground. Like, imagine this in the summertime. It's very cool for kids. A lot of like space. They can run around, play different things. Yeah, like I think for kids it's very, very nice. And I am just curious because I know that I haven't really been around Poland so much. I've only seen kind of the south of Poland, the southeast, because my grandparents, they live southeast. So I'm sure there's a lot of other beautiful cities, and sometimes I do watch like YouTube videos of people living in, for example, Poznań or Gdańsk or Bydgoszcz or Toruń, and these cities look very, very beautiful, and they're much smaller. So I guess maybe a lot of the problems that I'm describing about Kraków don't really exist there. Like maybe less pollution, just less people, being less crammed, and probably cheaper prices. Now I'm going to Rzeszów, over there in the center, like in the center, if you go have a coffee, you're gonna pay around 3.5 euros maybe for like a nice coffee, or 3 euros for a good coffee. So the prices are cheaper if the town is smaller, and if there's not so many, I don't know how to say it, but like if the city is like overdeveloped, I think everything goes up, the prices go up, right? Because then there's more competition, and that means that real estate, it costs more. So for example, if you want to rent out like a space to have a cafe or to have a restaurant, it's going to cost you more. So therefore you have to charge more money to keep that place. And that's why the menu prices go higher, because the rents are higher. So that makes sense. But if you live in a smaller city, it doesn't cost so much to rent out like a joint. And then you don't have to charge as much for things. You know, and that's better for the customer because, like, you know, if I go to a cafe here and I'm paying like 4 or 5 euros for a drink, you know, I'm not gonna go back to the cafe so much because it's gonna be like a very like special thing, you know, because I don't want to spend so much money on a coffee. You know, but if a coffee costs like 2 euros, you know, I might go there every day because, yeah, you know, that's not so expensive. Or it doesn't feel as expensive as 4 euros, you know, and I don't mind going every day. And maybe I'm spending more in a week because I go every day than if I were to go to a place and I spend like double the amount and I only go twice a week. So actually the cafe is losing money because they're charging so much. So see, bad business. Oh, this is cool. Big open space here. That's nice. There's a hill for kids to go tubing. But it's just literally ice right now, so the grandma's gotta watch out. She's gonna slip, man. So I'm almost there. I'm not too far away now. Yeah, I'm almost there. So yeah, for example, now, you know, we are living like around 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers away from the center, and like I think the reason why you move to a place is because you want to experience like the center, right? The center life and the busyness of the center and the cultural activities of the center and all the things that are going on in the center. You know, for example, where you live. If you live where we live, a little bit farther away, you don't really get that sense that you're living in the city. It kind of feels like you're living in a different place, you know. So us having to take the tram to go to the city, and it takes like 25 minutes, is convenient, but again, it doesn't really feel like we are living in the center because again it takes a little bit of time to get to the center, you know. And again, we're paying like 700 euros, but then we have to pay for transportation, and that's like about €1 each way, and eventually over time this adds up, right? So is it actually better to live in a city like Krakow, like living away from the center and renting something away from the center and saving a little bit of money? Or is it actually better to live in a city where you would pay the same amount of money, so like $700, you know, but you would still get the experience of living in the center? Because there are a lot of cities in Poland that have a beautiful like main square, like Krakow does, and you would pay much less, but you would still get the experience of like waking up and like, wow, I'm in the center, you know, I can just walk to this cafe, I don't have to take a bus or a tram to go anywhere, you know. And that's really nice. You know, that's kind of the lifestyle that I would like to have, is I would like to live in a place like that. It's not specifically Poland, you know, it can be another country like Spain, but I would like to live somewhere near the main square, you know, pay like not too much for rent and just be able to walk out my door and go on foot to anywhere I want to go instead of taking buses and taking trams. Like, to me, that is an ideal lifestyle than living, you know, like 7 kilometers away from the center of Krakow. Because it's Krakow. And yeah, again, I wouldn't pay fucking over $1,000 to rent an apartment in the center of the city. Because then you have all these other problems to deal with, like the traffic and the pollution in the center, and just the overpopulation of the center. So I think as I am getting older now, I'm realizing that I don't really need to live in like a really big city. You know, it doesn't make me happier that, oh, I'm here in Krakow, you know, it's a cool city and it has a lot of like cool activities. Because I think for me, what's more important is to not have to worry about money and just not have to pay so much money for things, but also to be able to live in a city center without sacrificing like my financial, without sacrificing my wallet. So I hope that makes sense. And I am very close now, too far away. Just gonna have to cross the road now, and then I'm almost at the bus station. And another thing is like, there are smaller cities that have basically the same shit that big cities have. You know, maybe not as much, but let's say you move to a city like, let's pick a smaller city in Poland. You know, for example, Toruń. Toruń, not a lot of people know about this city. It's a student city, kind of in the center of Poland. I think it's above Warsaw. It's a quite small city. I think the population is around 200,000 or something like that. But, you know, in my case, it has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, you know, because I like to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like a form of grappling. It has a bunch of cafes. It has swimming pools. It has a lake. It has forest. It has restaurants. You know, it has a little bit of a tourist population, because it's famous for like gingerbread and Nicholas Copernicus. So some people go and visit that place. And it's a small enough city where you don't have the problem of like, I don't think you don't have the problem of like so many cars and so much pollution and so many people and all this bullshit that the bigger cities have. Hold on 1 sec, let me just check again, because make sure, and then we'll get back to it. I gotta cross now. So I gotta go there. Okay. I'm just a little bit confused because now I am coming from like the opposite way that I usually come from. I'm coming from like the back. Oh, but I see the buses, so I think I am almost at the station. But what was I saying? So you can definitely find a small city like Krakow that has everything that you need, and you're gonna pay much less, and you're also gonna have to deal with less of the shit that you have to deal with here. But again, that also requires for you to sacrifice your own like ideal version of a place, because also if the place is smaller, you might not have every single thing you need, every single thing you want. You're not gonna have like the energy of the big city, which maybe to some people is very important. But let me go get some water right now, and then we're gonna head to the train station or the bus station. They don't have carts. Alright, so now we're at Biedronka. There we'll get an orange. Yeah. So this is Biedronka. It's like one of the more popular stores, grocery stores in Poland. It's super cheap. Przepraszam. Dziękuję.
Coś dla kota?
Some water. Przepraszam. Dziękuję. Some water. Okay.
Tak jest. Harność 2,66 za 12. Limit 12.
So I like this one because this one is quite thin and I can put it in my backpack, and it's gas. Jest otwarte, tak?
Oczywiście,
Dziękuję.
bardzo proszę.
Potrzebne informacje. Wybierz z list potrzebne informacje. Umieść artykuł w stawie pakowania.
Przy zakupie 6, ale nie jest napisane, żeby jakiś limit był.
Dobrze, a jak wpisać wielokrotność? Nie da się wielokrotnie, trzeba...
Na wadze. Umieść artykuł w stawie pakowania.
Let me show you. It's quite cheap. One orange, about 50 cents. And then water,
Proszę pana, niech pan chwilę poczeka. Mówię,
it's like 60, 70 cents.
na boczek też stanąć, żeby mi nie
Wprowadź kod
zastawiać
artykułu
pukacji.
lub odszukaj właściwego.
No to albo pan wyserki, albo poczek, bo ja nie wiem.
Wybierz formę płatności.
Się pan zdecydować.
Rachunek stałego klienta został aktywowany. Odbierz swoje artykuły oraz dowód zakupu do bramki fiskalnej.
Może mogła pani cały karton czytać.
Dziękuję.
Cały karton
Zapraszam
tutaj ma pani
ponownie.
chodnik na boku. Dlatego mówiłam, bo pani miała jeszcze luzem przejść. Ale proszę pana nie da.
It's so funny, man. This lady is like getting angry at people because they're doing things the wrong way. Must be really frustrating for her. Because this is like a very cheap store. I mean, not the cheapest. Ach one is one of the cheaper ones. Biedronka is the second, I think, or the third cheapest grocery store in Poland. And yeah, Biedronka is like the store that people come to and people steal alcohol or do things like that. And I've seen it a couple times already. Because it's easy, because not a lot of people, there's not a like security, and the people that work there don't really care. So people can just come and steal shit. But yeah, that lady was really on it, and she was just like very observant. So yeah, bus station is here. I think this is the one. I hope. 'Cause I don't really have a lot of time. Better go soon. Yeah, so that's the one. It's actually showing me on my map that this is the bus station. So now I just have to find the bus. But it's not gonna be here yet. Another maybe 10 minutes, I guess. It comes at 11:28, so I got 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So I guess I can keep this going, but should be like, this is the office, I guess. Let's check. So yeah, this is the office or whatever, like the inside. I don't know if they have a schedule or something. They have all the routes here. Flixbus to Rzeszów. So there is the bus here actually. Flixbus. That's the one I'm going on. It goes all the way to Rzeszów from Munich. Crazy. All the way from Munich. So it's gonna be here in about a few minutes. And you can get coffee here also. Oh wow. Coffee machine. I wonder if it's real coffee or if it's powdered coffee. But yeah, I've never taken a bus from this station, so I don't really know where it comes, but I'm sure it's gonna be right here. Right here. There's McDonald's right there. McDonald's actually also has really good coffee. It depends on the barista that's making it, because they have the real espresso machines. So sometimes I do go to McDonald's, bring my laptop, get a coffee, and just do some work online. And yeah, right now it's 11:22, so another 6 minutes and the bus should most likely be here. And yeah, that's one thing I really like about Poland, is that you can just get around very easily. Like this bus station is very close to our house, about 30-minute walk. I know that I've been live streaming for like an hour now, but I took a detour. But normally it would take like half an hour to get here just by walking. And then the other thing is we have a tram, which is on the main road right there, and that goes like straight to our house. So that's like a maybe 7-minute train ride or tram ride. So we're very, very close. And this is just another station. You know, there's also like the central station, which is in the center of Kraków, and that's where most of the buses go to and most of the trains. So yeah, very easy to get around. So let me just get a coffee, and then I'm probably gonna sign out soon. But yeah, I showed you the walk. I took a detour. I talked about Poland a little bit. That was the goal for this live stream. I know that it wasn't the best. I am still kind of getting used to this whole thing and walking and talking and trying not to be retracted. And also, I'm sorry that I cannot answer the comments. My goal for today was just to talk about like one topic and to stick to it and then look at the comments afterwards. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, I don't know how many people are here left, but I can answer some questions about Poland if you have any questions about Poland. Okay, so it's actually real coffee. Ziarnista, which means real coffee, or like beans, like grinded. I think that's what it means. Okay, let's get our coffee.
Proszę wybrać produkt.
See how this works. So now you get yourself a coffee. Then you put the sugar down. And you click your card here. And Visa.
Proszę użyć kartę.
And then you do your